This hour by Frederick Remington, fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. Exclusive, no refrigeration, 10-year extended shelf life bacon. The thickest, meatiest, center-cut bacon in the industry at fullycookedbacon.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. The Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, February 10th. Well, it's been an uneventful week or so. Last week, as you know, we took a break, and I was up in Canada at the World Outlook Conference, and I was a key presenter up there. Fantastic conference I do every year up there in Vancouver with the Canadian Viewpoint. Many of you are aware of that, and we did meet a couple of our radio listeners at the conference. If you want more information and maybe we get a copy of my presentation up there in Canada, I would ask you to go to moneytalks.net, and you can buy a copy of the video, and you can see me and other presenters at the conference. So very, very interesting. Of course, it has a little bit of an energy flair with the Canadian economy as it is, and natural resources, of course, are a big point of discussion, crude oil and metals and so forth. But still, we talked about the overall market as well. As far as the market itself, as I just mentioned, it's been somewhat uneventful here, but we're going to bring one of our very special guests on the phone right now who's waiting in the wings, Henry Weingarten, who'll bring us up to date a little bit. Henry, in fact, just got back from Hong Kong, so I don't feel so bad, Henry, that I took off last week because you were off on the road, too. Welcome back.
Yeah, well, that's the advantage of being fully hedged. You don't really care what happens. However, we are unwinding between one-third and, or actually we did unwind between one-third and one-half of our hedges, or stop them. Basically 24,000, just a little above 24,000 on the Dow, or 2,600 on the S&P is a place we would lock in the shorts we had, or our hedges, depending on which clients and so forth. Bitcoin, as you know, didn't hit our $5,000 target this time, but did hit 6,000, so that was comfortable too, and we'll probably short it again a little later. As a matter of fact, I'm on 3 Bitcoin panels now, being the naysayer, one in Hong Kong, one in Princeton University, and one in New York. But,
you were one of the first naysayers, if I remember correctly. You were early on, right?
Well, except, some of the people are wrong. Like people like Jamie Dimon and these other guys are saying it's going to zero. They're wrong. It's not going to zero. Remember, tulips in the beginning, you could buy an estate and then you could get an onion for it. But what we're going to see at the end, which could be as soon as this summer, but may take another year, is it's going to be like Confederate money. So it will have a value. You might want to buy 1,000 Bitcoins for $100 to say, gee, if I had only sold it in 2017, I'd be a multimillionaire. So to me, that's the end result of Bitcoin. But that's a whole other discussion. In terms of the markets, which is very interesting now, because it could continue lower, but we had a 10% correction. That's fine. It's a little early. If this were March or April, I'd be inclined to hold my shorts a little bit more than I am, but this is not time for that. And, we do have some inflationary news with the government. It's surprising that gold is not doing better, but it will over time. But there are a lot of negative consequences there. You mentioned oil. Oil is hitting support levels around 58, and that's an area we may come back in again. 65 is where we thought it belonged, and protected ourselves there. We're going to unprotect around 58. So there's a lot going on. You have to decide where in the market you want to be, because it's going to be a very varied market. And it's very exciting times, actually. I'm glad it's not so dull anymore, and I'm glad it's not different this time.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about the market. You hinted a moment ago that and most of the street's been talking about the fact that the whole thing was triggered by perception of interest rates going up, and I don't really go for that story. There's something else in the wings going on here.
Yes and no. If you look at our 5 reasons why we thought the market could go down this year, and not into bear territory, but into correction territory, interest rates are one of them. Just as one of the reasons the market was way up. Now, our number, we said the bonds were going to go to 270 to 3, and at 3 we thought that's where it would kick off. But apparently there were other people who had the opinion around 275 and above it would kick off, and it did. Because clearly interest rates are going to be going up, and that puts some competition in the market. On the other hand, there's more than one thing. There were some rumors of what was happening in China. There are quite a lot of other things that are going on, and the fact that the market's just too expensive. You know, the market is ahead of itself in terms of profits, and we needed a healthy correction. Everybody sees that, and there's money starting to come in. That doesn't mean it can't go lower, and perhaps later in the year, but at this point in time, I don't think so. So I don't know what other reason you want to give. I mean, you could say that the Democrats wanted to push the market down so that Trump would look bad, but I don't buy that one either.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of discussion about that point as well, but okay, so the Trump effect, that's still in play, correct, or no?
Oh, absolutely, because remember, the Trump effect is not only lower interest. The main thing about the Trump is lack of regulation. That's more important than anything else, or maybe a little too much lack of regulation, and not enough in cases like Bitcoin, for example. There should be a lot more. But effectively, that's the biggest driver. Secondarily is the fact companies are no longer penalized for being in the United States. We basically had a system where it encouraged companies to sell jobs overseas and to put money overseas, and that's no longer there now that we have the territorial tax system. So that's very positive. So, and of course, we have the budget out of the way, slightly inflationary, but not a surprise. So I think the Trump effect is going to last all year based on his horoscope. And where the markets go, you know, we had January in an upward movement, which it did, and we have February, though, in a range bound. And I think we're very close to the bottom of the range, which means it's going to go up a little bit. So we see this as a range-bound market in February.
In many years, not often, but we often see like a mid-March low around the Ides of March. Do you see that astrologically or fundamentally coming in?
Well, we do have, you know, a sort of a March, April, or mid-April thing, which comes in both from astrology and also from the fact that the question is how much money is going to go into IRAs this year. I mean, you know, usually it comes in after the IRA time, which is the sell in May thing, and I think the sell in May is going to come early. We just don't have the numbers yet because, you know, we'll know better next week. If the market balances out here and then goes up a little bit and stabilizes, then it's one thing. If it doesn't, it's another thing. So I don't know if it's March per se, but certainly March or April. It could be, but to me, not say a low as much as we'll be going down again. But from what numbers, we haven't decided.
Now, we did touch on gold very briefly here. You know, part of the retracement in gold was the fact that the dollar seemingly bottomed out here a little bit. Do you have a sense for that? Because the dollar looks like it might be bottoming out.
Well, the problem is this. Gold is too cheap. Gold should be at $1,388. Should attempt to go to $1,400 over the next year or two. But it's got a lot of headwinds. But I think the crypto headwind is going to be gone by the summer, so that's going to help gold and silver, but gold especially, because people realize they won't get rich anymore by just buying a Bitcoin and become multimillionaires. So that is a big driver that's gone. But the dollar's going to get stronger. Interest rates are going to go up, but though competitively you see the British pound is going to do something and some of the others. So we see gold in a slow, steady up. I think it's going to basically hold 1,300. And there are stocks that do well. The difference is, however, we believe you have to pick out your stocks well. It's not just so much sector that's going to go up as certain stocks are going to go up in the gold sector. But overall, it will go up. It may be about 5% this year. It's not as much as last year.
Okay. So, in the crude oil, we touched on that as well. Had a big run here. Some of the charts say crude oil could even push toward the $80 level. But I guess we'll have to talk about that next week. We just ran out of time, Henry. Henry Weingarten from afund.com, the Astrologers Fund. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
Every industry faces distinguishing challenges and circumstances that shape the business and financial landscape. Camuso CPA LLC delivers unrivaled depth of knowledge and an engaging experience relevant to each client's industry-specific needs. Camuso offers preemptive guidance and knowledge required to achieve your greatest business and personal financial potential. Our approach is based on forging long-term business relationships accompanied by trust and value, creating an ever-important partnership. Build your dedicated financial team with us today. Visit CamusoCPA.com. That's CamusoCPA.com.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor-endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest price filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Here's a special message for those of you who owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes. The IRS has special programs in place that could eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. Call the Federal Tax Management Helpline that has been set up for you, 800-503-8625. Stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. Once you've qualified and enrolled, the IRS will stop all the collection activities against you. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and significantly reduce or eliminate your tax burden. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe more than $10,000 in taxes, call for free information and to see if you qualify. Take down the number now for the Federal Tax Management Hotline, 800-503-8625. That's 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Hawaii was a wake-up call. Don't be caught without a disaster shelter. Atlas makes an all-disaster shelter that will protect your family from fallout, tornadoes, and hurricanes for only $99.99. That also includes the NBC air filtration system, solid steel construction with an airtight, bulletproof door. That's right, for $99.99 and up. Call 1-855-4BUNKER or go to IWantThatShelter.com. Atlas Survival Shelters, the world leader in fallout shelters.
any sign of weakness, always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, February 10th. We joked that it was uneventful, even though we were off for a week, but and Henry Weingarten, of course, was in Hong Kong. So both he and I officially were off the air during this period of great volatility. But here we are back, and we have our good friend Harry Boxer on the line, going to join us from Harry, are you in La Quinta, or are you? Yeah, La Quinta. Okay. So Harry Boxer from the techtrader.com, always a regular guest, good friend, and happy to have him on the show. Harry, it's been it's been almost 2 weeks since we spoke on the radio now. So tell me general impressions of what's happened.
Yeah, well, if you recall, Mark, when we talked last, I said I thought the market was in a precarious position. It's extremely stretched to the upside, and we were due for a pullback. We really got it. As a matter of fact, as of this point right now, down 300 on a down, we're down more than 10% off the high already. That's halfway through a bear market.
Right.
Pretty quick. I was looking for 8 to 10% back. I didn't think it would come as quickly, but, you know, after a 9-year bull market, when people cash in the chips, it's going to be quick, and that's what's happened here. At least that's what I feel. I think although we may be near a tradable low, we've completed a fifth wave today, and we're down near the lows for the day. So at any point, we can get a snapback rally, but is it going to happen ahead of a weekend? And if it does, and it rallies back to the close, which we've seen a lot, on short covering, will they spill them over on Monday, Tuesday, and maybe create some sort of bottom there, but it could be substantially lower. That's the problem.
Right, so 10% may not be enough. If something more serious is happening, we may go for 20%. Anything's possible here, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm looking at my. Go ahead.
But it's, you know, obviously it's midday on Friday, and I'm telling you that I'm looking for at least a snapback rally today.
Okay, covering into the weekend, shorts into the weekend. I don't know how many people are shorted.
What's bargain high? You know, the McClellan offset is, I mean, the tick index, minus 1,366. Just about every time I see a negative take of 13 to 1,500 in that range, we get a tradable rally. And that's, as a matter of fact, as I'm talking to you, it looks like they're trying to reverse again. Right off my targets, by the way, I gave people targets at 25, 50, 55. We got down to 25, 52. And that was in the S&P. And so I'm looking for a snapback to 25.70, maybe 25.90. So we'll see. The market's pretty dire. A lot of stocks that I like I've gotten whacked, and maybe an opportunity to pick up stocks cheap, but it's always difficult to buy stocks when they're falling. You want to wait till they reverse.
Right, and for me, I want to see some positive upside volume come in, and we haven't seen that at all. It's already been all to the downside.
You know, Mark, if you notice the way this started, it started with the end of the Bitcoin bust bubble, and it started with the marijuana bubble too. Those two stocks, which were like every time you see at the end of every major bull phase, you get all the BS stocks, I call them, start to rip, and they blow off. Now, TWMJF, you know, I put a swing on at 16 or 17. It went up to 35. That was exactly my target, and it's trading now in the 20 range. And so, and you look at where the GBTC, the Bitcoin Trust, went from, and it had a massive reverse split as well. But you can see that the marijuana stocks, the Bitcoin stocks, Riot, for example, Riot Bitcoin, Riot Blockchain, 46 to 14 or so. It actually got down to 12, I think. It actually bounced there. So, I mean, massive drops like that, 75% in a short period of time, shouldn't surprise anybody. If you're playing these stocks, you cannot play them without stops, period.
Well, that's what you're good at. So, what's on the Tech Trader board today? Because I know you're always finding something, regardless of what the market's doing. Anything?
Well, we were trading the UVXY. It bounced from 24.5 to 27.25. But I told people to be very careful with those. The stocks we're trading today are AOI, which floating early and then pulled back. That one's up 3.75 to 29% in a market like this. WAIR. 8.25 up 170. That's a 26% pop today. We're trading a company called MCB Holdings, which is in recreational vehicles. You know, we got that early on around 24, ran up to 26.5. So and UIS. Do you remember the old Unisys Burl Billy Rand merger?
Yes.
That stock exploded today on phenomenal blowout earnings. It's now $9.55, up $1.20 or 14%. So even in the worst markets with the Dow down 300, there are stocks that are running.
Always the case. Let's talk a little bit briefly about gold. Why?
It's a disaster.
A lot of investors are disappointed. They assume that the gold would go up as soon as the market crashed.
No, it's just the opposite. Apparently, you would think that with inflation really ugly head that would happen, but just in the last couple of days, J9 has dropped from 14 now to 12, and this thing was $20 2 weeks ago. It's gone from, let's see, the high was $20.50, and here it is $11.98. And this is a new low, by the way. So I don't know where these things stop, but gold is an unmitigated disaster here. Maybe it's a buy down here, but they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater in that group right now.
Right. Well, to me, it double topped here a few weeks ago, and the fact it couldn't break through the big high from last year was at 1372. Told me that maybe it was just another phony rally, and also seasonality. Generally, you get a rally into February, and so on that basis, time ran out. So let's wait and see. Maybe
there are some I think really quality little biotech stocks that I think on this pullback are screaming buys, like Viking Therapeutics, BKTX. I love that little stock. A company called HTG Molecular Diagnostics. That's a really neat little company trading in this free range. And there's a lot of stocks I think that I still think biotechs are going to be big this year, but they also had a big January and they're taking their profits. As a matter of fact, they're taking their profits on a lot of things now. That's the problem. The market has such a built-in profit for so many people.
Absolutely. You're still offering your free trial for new subscribers?
Always. 2 weeks free, no credit card necessary.
Okay, and folks, if you want to get that, go to thetechtrader.com, thetechtrader.com, and we'll have Harry back here hopefully again next week. Harry, have a great weekend, and thank you for squeezing a few minutes in with us. Harry Boxer from thetechtrader.com.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. So anyway, the market is what it is, and until you get a clear sign of a turn, the caution flags are still up. As Harry just said, yes, we get a technical bounce here, and it could happen at any time. Look at the volatility we've had here in recent weeks. But my overall impression is volume has been to the downside, and until we see volume come into the upside, you have to play it defensively here. I mean, the Dow Industrials could drop another 1,000 or 2,000 points or more here. We saw that intraday just the other day. So, again, until we see those technical confirmations, you got to be careful. And as I talked to Henry about a few moments ago, there are often periods of time where you see lows in the March period. So this could stretch out on and off for a couple of months. Now, for traders, it's a great opportunity. There's a lot of back and forth stuff going on. Individual stocks like Twitter, which is one of our recommendations, took off big here. We took a big profit at vrtrader.com. Yesterday, I think about almost a 10-point profit in Twitter. We saw Snap, SNAP, starting to bounce a little bit. That's possibly tradable if it pulls back. Harry talked about the marijuana stocks. I still think they're tradable as well. So still a lot of action out there, folks. So stay tuned to Wall Street Raw and vrtrader.com.
Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. At wallstreetraw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at wallstreetraw.com. That's wallstreetraw.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetraw.radio.com.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, February 10th. It's been an uneventful couple of weeks out there, so we're going to have to try to scramble and figure out what to talk about. And we have our good friend Sinclair Noe, who's going to help us. Sinclair from KFNN 1510 Phoenix and author of the great incomparable blog, eatthebankers.com. Good morning, Sinclair. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, Mark. Thank you.
Wow. So, I take a week off and the market crashes, so I'll avoid taking future breaks, but I was working the whole time. Sinclair, it's been almost an unprecedented time in the market, even though not on a percentage basis, record point moves. But let's sort of kick it off, and you talked about this in your blog. We had a Black Monday this past week. We had a turnaround Tuesday, which I always use in my newsletter. Seems to work more than it doesn't. And we had like like a weird, I call it Weird Wally Wednesday. You referred to it as Weird Wednesday. Then we had a Black Thursday. And on Friday, the market was off again. It's just unbelievable what's going on.
Yeah, it really is. We've never seen moves this big. Percentage-wise, yes. I mean, 87 was a 22-point drop on Black Monday in 1987 crash. 22 percentage point drop. We're nowhere near that in percentage point terms, but we've never seen a 1,000-point drop on the Dow in one day. 1,175 on Monday. Followed that up with a 1,032-point drop on Thursday. At one point on Monday, of course, the Dow was down right at 1,600 points. That's just insanity. And that tells you, I think that tells you that there is something definitely wrong with the markets, that it's not just a little garden variety pullback, buy on the dips type situation. And a few other things that we're seeing as well. The markets are going down into the close. Even when we start up with a little bit of a positive during the day, all that buying enthusiasm just fades away.
When we saw that 1,600 point down move there, my initial impression was that somebody had a fat finger and hit the wrong button at that moment. Right? There's some talk about some computer programs kicking in and help accelerate that sell-off. Correct?
Yeah, but I don't consider it a flash crash. I don't consider it a fat finger error in trading. I don't think it was something like that. I think what happened is that we hit some technical points. We were moving below the 50-day moving average, for example, and that's when it kicked in. And there are just sell programs in place designed to get out when the market loses its trend. And that's what it seemed to be. And when it started to happen, yeah, the program trading kind of fed on itself for a while, but it wasn't a mistake. That was programmed in. That was a sell decision that people had made ahead of time, and they hit the target and sold.
No question about it breaking down. There's no question about that. But, the way it accelerated intraday, I was watching it. It was almost like that. I tell the story back in 2010 when I was sitting in a dentist chair getting my teeth cleaned during the flash crash in May there, and you watched it, just sell off in seconds, but it bounced and came back. So that was a technical error. But this one, as you say, is coming apart differently.
I really think it is. And by the way, would you please stop taking vacations and getting dental work?
I definitely will not sit in a dental chair during market hours. I learned my lesson.
I think the markets are panicky right now.
Yeah.
I think there is a definite problem with this, and it will remain a problem until at some point or another something changes, and I'm not quite sure what it is. Earnings have been coming in good, yeah. The economy is generally strong. I don't think it's near as strong as some people would tout it to be, but it's reasonably strong.
Right. There's something else going on. You know what I mean? We're told that it was an interest rate related phenomenon, and you can expound on that a little bit. That's your area, but you just can't help but believe, besides the fact the market was way overbought and due for a sell-off, there's something else looming out there the market knows. That we maybe it's the political uncertainty, threat of impeachment against Trump, which has no merit, things like that are scaring the market. There's something else. It's just that we haven't figured it out yet. The market knows something. That's really what I see here, and I'm just wondering if we'll get that revelation or not. So we'll see.
I think that's part of it as well. Now, on the inflation side, I think traders and the bond market have clearly mispriced interest rates. They've been too complacent. They've been relying upon a Federal Reserve put to keep rates artificially low, and I don't think the Federal Reserve likes the idea of, it's not zero interest rate, but near zero. I mean, historically low rates, even where we're at. And even if they raise rates 2 or 3 more times, it's still going to be historically low interest rates from the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve is nervous. Federal Reserve wants to get ahead of this because they're afraid of something happening. They need a little ammo. They need a little dry powder, quivers, arrows in the quiver, if you will. Mm-hmm. But inflation is starting to accelerate. And this is happening at a time when the government is about to dump a lot of bonds. They're going to be doubling their debt sale this year to more than $1 trillion to make up for the lost revenue from the tax cuts. Federal Reserve is reinvesting fewer proceeds as their balance sheet matures. They're not just rolling over these bond holdings; they're going to let them go. When the Fed was purchasing bonds, they pushed down interest rates. They forced investors to take on more risk to generate decent returns. Now you start looking over at the bond market and you start thinking, okay, this is worth a consideration for many people for at least part of a portfolio, perhaps. And I think there's just so much more debt out there right now than the bond market had anticipated. This deficit spending that we're seeing all over the place, the stimulus package, which is the most poorly timed stimulus package that you could possibly imagine. You don't do stimulus at this point. That's like throwing gasoline on a fire that's already burning fairly strong. You use a little gasoline maybe to get the fire started initially. Not at this point in the recovery, though. That just is going to create problems. That's going to flash back on you and create problems. So that is part of it. And one of the problems that I think comes up is that we have a weaker and weaker dollar. Now, a weaker dollar is good for corporations who are trying to sell something overseas because it makes those products cheaper. In other words, if you build a car or something and you want to sell it in Europe, well, the Europeans are more likely to buy it because it'll be cheaper. But there's a downside to that as well.
Sinclair, we ran out of time in this segment, but you said you were more than happy to sit there and join us for a second segment. So don't touch your dial, Sinclair. No, we'll be back with us after the break. You're listening to Wall Street Raw.
Are listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
Every industry faces distinguishing challenges and circumstances that shape the business and financial landscape. Camuso CPA LLC delivers unrivaled depth of knowledge and an engaging experience relevant to each client's industry-specific needs. Camuso offers preemptive guidance and knowledge required to achieve your greatest business and personal financial potential. Our approach is based on forging long-term business relationships accompanied by trust and value, creating an ever-important partnership. Build your dedicated financial team with us today. Visit CamusoCPA.com. That's CamusoCPA.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the Internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
This is Dan Pillett. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpillett.com.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, February 10th, and it's been a tumultuous and exciting time in the markets for all of us. As a trader, a lot of opportunities there at vrtrader.com. We were playing the inverse ETFs, for example, DOG, which is the inverse ETF for the Dow Industrials, and we're able to benefit from the at least a portion of the decline, playing all kinds of stocks in both directions. One of our big winners yesterday, I mentioned earlier, was Twitter. We took almost a 10-point profit out of that in the face of a very negative market climate. The stock's been looking good for a while, but you had to be patient with that one. The cannabis stocks underwent a big correction, but I don't think the game is over there, folks. I think there's still another tradable play here, perhaps coming into the summer when legalization hits Canada, and many of the big plays that we've been involved with have been the Canadian plays. But trading opportunities galore out there, but investors, that's the big question, and that's why we have good friends like Sinclair No on the air to help us decide and decipher what really is happening here. Sinclair, again, investors should wait for a sign of a bottom, right? I mean, we're catching a falling knife here, essentially. We don't know if this is a 20% correction or even a more severe bear market underway.
No, we don't know at this point. And we won't know until we get confirmation that this has stopped, that there is a bottom in place. And as of now, we do not have that confirmation, not by any stretch. Doesn't mean you necessarily panic. As you say, there are some trading opportunities out there if you want to get active about it and proactive about it. And you certainly are are masterful at that. I was following along with some of your recommendations in the week, and at one point you sent out a message saying time to ring the cash register, and I'm like, oh yeah. It's not all doom and gloom out there. There are opportunities, but one thing I'm looking at, and I was mentioning this right before the break, the dollar. This could turn decidedly ugly. Even though we have what looks like a pretty strong economy right now, this could turn decidedly ugly if the dollar continues to drop. And, of course, we've heard the idea that a weaker dollar would be good for U.S. trade. Yeah, that drew some concerned rebuke when Steven Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary, said that a couple of weeks ago at the World Economic Forum in Davos. He upset the Europeans, he upset the Japanese, and apparently he upset the Chinese as well. They've allowed the yuan to float again. The first time we've seen that since the 2015 devaluation. They let it float lower, and they essentially said, yeah, we may have a few more fluctuations to come in the yuan. If the dollar drops down too much, though, here's part of the problem. If you are holding currency other than the U.S. dollar, and you're thinking about investing in financial assets in the United States, whether it be stocks or whether it be bonds, would you buy a 10-year Treasury note that's yielding somewhere around 2.8-ish% when and of course you got to do that with dollars, and the dollar goes down in value 10%. Well, the dollar has dropped 10% over the past year. If it drops another 10% in the coming year, we've got a serious problem. We've got deflation in financial assets from global investors at that point. They're not going to do that. We need them to be stepping in to buy up the debt because there is so much more debt right now, and the Federal Reserve is not serving as the backdrop, the buyer of last resort for that debt, if you will. That's when things could really start to get dicey. In addition, you mentioned political uncertainty. Well, we had another government shutdown this week. Didn't last very long, but we did have, technically, a government shutdown. We may have another one in, 6 weeks or so. Mm-hmm. It's not as if this thing is concluded. And as far as political uncertainty out of the administration, sometimes they look like the gang that just can't shoot straight. I mean, they can't quite figure it out. And, as far as the rest of it, will there be impeachment? Will there be something that comes out of all these investigations? I don't know. We'll wait and see, but it's a possibility. I'll put it that way. It's not outside the realm of possibility. And I don't care whether you think it's right or wrong. Doesn't matter. It can still happen. So there's a lot of things that could go wrong here.
Right. Well, we just have to wait for, like you said, the technical confirmation, but a lot more, a lot of bad news, would also help wash out the market as well. So we haven't seen that much on the bad news front. Earnings have been good. As you say, the economy is strong. Jobs are positive. Of course, you could say all the good news came in at the top, and now we have to wait for some bad news at the bottom. But the economy still seems to be okay. But we were looking for a technical correction, and now we have to sort of watch the charts and see if we're starting a bear market, which would probably be the least likely expected event,
Well, yeah, and typically you get a bear market when you have recessionary economic events going on. But sometimes a lack of confidence for consumers and for corporations can also be an indicator. The other thing that I'm worried about is that this tax plan pulls all the growth forward, and the markets are a forward-looking mechanism. So the growth gets pulled forward. What does the market have to look forward to? We're going through some major repricing right now in debt and equity markets, and we'll just have to see how far off that pricing really was. As you say, you'll get technical indicators that will tell you when we reach that bottom. And you're right, we'll probably see some capitulation with some bad news thrown in as well. But we're not there today.
Sinclair, let's jump over to the banks behaving badly segment. And we have a little bit of news there with regard to Wells Fargo. But first I read that Janet Yellen's last official act was to order Wells Fargo to restrict the growth of the firm until it sufficiently improves its governance. That's an understatement.
Yeah, that's an understatement. They're basically they are restricted from growing, and I believe it's the Fed worked out a system that basically says you cannot get any bigger than you are right now until we are confident that you're not going to pull this kind of stupid stuff that they've been pulling for so long, opening fake accounts without customer approval, charging for auto insurance on auto loans, even if somebody already has auto insurance. They just open up an insurance account for somebody. They were doing all sorts of just ridiculously stupid things. And they chastised the board. They basically said, you do this again, and we're going to clean out the board of Wells Fargo. This is long overdue, quite frankly. Wells Fargo has been behaving very, very badly for quite a long time. What I'm amazed at is that we've had all these other banks that were doing, you go back over the years, they were foreclosing on homes and doing it with basically robo-signing and false signings on these things. It was perjury. And that didn't get any kind of particular rebuke from the Federal Reserve. That didn't get increased supervision and control. That part has always amazed me. At least now the Fed decided to step in and say, okay, you just can't get any bigger until you prove that you can handle it. I think it was appropriate. It was reasonably severe, certainly compared to anything that we've seen in any length of time. So, long overdue, but the last step of Janet Yellen.
Thank you for joining us. Sinclair No, KFNN 1510 Phoenix, and we'll be back next week. And as we always say, folks, we will know in the fullness of time. Have a great weekend.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week Elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. At wallstreetraw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at wallstreetraw.com. That's wallstreetraw.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.